restricted. Why all variations should begin with invariant?
Variant needs a center to revolve around.
Once again?
Every variant needs a center to revolve around. Invariant is a center.
Okay. It is very much close, 90% close. But I am looking for the correct conceptualization. Mind you, correct conceptualization is very critical for higher level of dialoguing, higher level of perception, higher level of communication, higher level of leadership. What is poetry? What is great philosophy? What is great oration? Correct conceptualization, powerful bullet shot conceptualization, Naveen. You may be able to do perhaps in Hindi, but I think in Hindi you understood it, I suppose, but you are not able to put it into proper English. Anybody else? Why all variations should begin with invariant?
Is it because the variance can change and they can get any order or they can be restructured, but the invariant is the invariant. It is a start.
Invariant is the essence, the fundamental truth.
That's true. That's also right. But did you understand the question?
Yeah, in the very nature of that whatever lies in the invariant.
Yeah.
The invariant decides the variance.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, all of you said somewhat same thing only. Because the variance should happen to the invariant. Because invariant is the beginning. In other words, that's why I told you as an example, the fertilized egg in the womb is the invariant. All further variations should necessarily or compulsorily start from the design and structure and setting of that invariant. Otherwise, the child will be, in a human womb, something else will be found. That invariant contains all the possible, probable variations further. That is why. All further variations are potentially linkaged. Here comes the concept of linkage. It is linkaged to the properties or characteristics or attributes or propensities or tendencies or whatsoever, so-called chromosome structure of the human being. 36 chromosomes, for example. All further variations happen from that only. And variations must happen. Because that variation is predicted or was potentially declared in the invariant. Why this understanding is critical? Because that human zygote is the greatest invariant available on planet Earth. Not the invariant of the cat, not the invariant of the lion, not the invariant of whatever. Anyway, human entity is the biggest variation as of now. They talk about beings from other planets and all that, as yet not confirmed. Whatever it is, in this planet Earth, human beings are the most capable of variations predicted or designed and set in the original invariant of the fertilized egg. That's why also I began with the case of that wonderful girl who, without even the rudiments of hands are not there, Tintin. The shoulder is just plain. And both the legs are not proper, contorted. And such a girl is already making a living out of selling portraits drawn by the legs. And currently, yesterday or today, she got driving lessons. Somebody gifted her with an automatic Suzuki Celerio car, with all the further money to make it all modifications so that she can drive the car with just one leg. What kind of a one leg? Already partially bent, not a fully formed leg as that of other human beings. And now there are so many hundreds of, about 70 to 80% of the drivers are very incompetent. They just drive the car, that's all. In case of driving, how many people can even draw with their hands? Apart from all these things, you must all study that YouTube presentation of that girl. How charming is she? How pleasant is she? Her eyes are full of energy, full of satisfaction. It is not just satisfaction or happiness or thrill or whatever revealed when she is interviewed and videotaped by all the TV channels. Not because the Chief Minister himself handed over the license to her. These are all evidences of the possible, probable linkages that can be evolved from the original invariant of that human entity. That's why we talk about Satori or enlightenment or self-discovery. When you re-engineer, when you reverse engineer, come back and when you come across that original invariant of the you, then with the consciousness of the mind, educated or trained or intentful consciousness of the mind, consciousness salient by an intent, then you can do anything. That's what Patanjali talks about. You can even disappear at will. You can comprehend the languages of the birds and the trees. We can make things disappear. Because all these are from invariants or the linkages from invariants, for which you have to know what is the invariant, not an anatomical knowledge about the structure of the fertilized egg, not from an anatomical knowledge in the textbook about the 36 chromosomes in the helix. That will not do anything. You have to experience, your attention should go back into your body and touch that chromosomal level. Of course, when I see these things, I have tried only a little bit, of course. And my purpose, when I say this, I am not implying that we should try at that level. But we should be aware of the total map of the territory of the invariant we are all given. And everybody is wondering about heroes. The hero, the great hero, the Jesus, the great hero, the Krishna, the great hero, the Shiva, as if, and they are declaring that you are like me. And human beings do not have the guts to trust it and believe it. And they are going to bloody temples and all the places to pray to those things. Okay? Instead of trying patiently Okay, you all do not have the proper time like the time Jesus had or Krishna had or Shiva had or any of the mystics had. They had nothing else to do, no doubt about that. Whether it is Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa or Ramana Maharshi or Vivekananda or J. Krishnamurti, they were all in that line. Therefore, they could get it little faster, that's all. Okay, we don't have to get that full of it. But our intent should be definitely riveted, R-I-V-E-T-E-D, riveted on bloody discovering that invariant within this. This is not your creation, this is not the creation of your father and mother. This is 100% creation of the nature process. What that nature process has given must be discovered. The linkages of that should be uncovered, unenveloped. They are all hiding like master thieves. Or they are all hiding like most precious jewels in the centermost room of the most powerfully locked caskets. We shall not be mistaking our ability and competency just because we have a degree and a job. And don't wait for the old age to sit down idle and then to discover. Not possible. You have to try for it right now. When your energy and intelligence levels are in its peak points of engine speed. Our ancient Indian tradition talks about sannyasa at the end of the road. It is absolute nonsense. Or it is a different kind of thing. You just live like that. If sannyasa implies discovering that operating invariant, it must be tried at the proper time when the energies and the attention and so-called intellect engines are in full form, full speed, full quality, full firing power. Not when it is weak by the body and by the mind and by the experience and a lot of personal history of tragedies and resentments. No. A great lot of Indians went for sannyasa at the end of the road after with a resentful mind as an asylum. No. But that's a clever strategy. If a great lot of young people are turned towards sannyasa, then the society may not function according to the whim and fancies of the greedy rulers and traders and clerics. That's why they have said that. When did Vivekananda go for sannyasa? When did Jesus go for self-discovery? When did Buddha go for that? When they were 70-year-old, 80-year-old? No. As I told you, I have put this invariant linkage orbits. That's a framework for you, for your attention to guide your focusing of consciousness without any bias of faith or religious spirituality or anything. It is just an impartial framework. No meditation, no pranayama, nothing. You just apply that framework. A clear, attention-driven analysis. As I told you, I am not talking theory. I am talking what I do. That's why I started saying I have undertaken treatment of a 73-year-old lady with Parkinson's for the last, identified about 3 years back by the top hospital in the country, Apollo Hospitals in Chennai. I don't know whether Parkinson's have been completely treated. Of course, completely suppressed by English medicines, and I am telling I will make her walk. I am talking about a cure of Parkinson's disease. not suppressing it with the Western medical system, which they do. They don't have any treatment for that. They have only chemicals to suppress the venous, the tremors of the body, and just to keep the vegetable-like existence. That's all. And what is my background? Let me say zero. Zero. Only a trust in the invariant and the double. That we will discuss later, the double part of it. So, linkages, which we have discussed a little bit all the time, because one cannot be discussed without the other. Therefore, when we discussed about variance, we referred to a little bit about linkages. When we talked about orbits, we all said this successive orbits at 1, 2, second or third or fourth or fifth level are by the linkages, the distances of linkages. And linkages are very critical. Why? Perhaps linkages are the most critical in the entire reality of variant, invariant, orbit, linkage, intentionality, network of the universe. The universe outside, or the universe in a pencil, or the universe within every cell of your body. Why? Why linkages are very critical? Come on. Or rather, the most critical.
Anything can be understood only with linkages.
Oh, okay, explain. What do you say by saying that?
The perceptions, perspectives, everything is formed out of linkages. And a person understands anything around them through linkages. Existence is possible through linkages.
How will you explain this to a third standard child? Come on, do it.
No, I need to establish new linkages for that.
When you look at and see an object, there is a linkage of your visual sensitivity to that. If you close your eyes and look at it, you will not see that, because the light rays emitted by that object does not linkage with your visual system. It's that simple. You enter a house and you realize that fish is being cooked there, because that smell gets linkaged with your nostrils. When you enter the house, a locked house, you hear the sound of a cat, and you realize that a cat has entered into the house. And if you are very clear, you will also realize that you forgot to close one of the windows. Sorry. All right. Linkage is something very simple, okay? You make a diagram, a center point and arrows, okay? Linkage. Connectivity. Relationship. You are linkaged to your mother, to your father, to your sister, to your brother in a relationship level. Your body is right now linkaged to first to what? The cloth. The cloth is linkaged to the air column outside. Your body is linkaged to the chair. The chair is linkaged to the ground. That ground is linkaged to the house. That house is linkaged to the earth. The soil there. That is linkaged to the whole planet Earth. The universe is one by linkages. That is okay. Perhaps you may already know. Now the thing is not to know this, but to practically your attention really flowing through that linkages. really seeing that linkages. You can see with your inner eyes, with your dreaming sensitivity, you can see entire things interrelated by that linkages. Yeah. Why? So we are already answering why linkages are the most critical. Variants are there. If they are not linkage, so linkage is inevitable, that by the property of the variants, but nevertheless, if they don't linkage, man and woman are staying in the house. If there are no linkages of the mind and the body and the intellect and the spirit, what all kinds of linkages. So this you can write 300 pages on linkages. The future linkages and the present linkages and the parallel linkages and the remote linkages and the historical linkages. See, you are all the time held. Linkages are like an n-dimensional spider network where you or your consciousness, your point of thought at the center. See that. See the you, to begin with, that human body, like a spider, okay, held by the minimum linkages of the air and the water and other elements, okay, and your identity linkaged by whatever in your inner thought process and consciousness, as well as other people's looking at you. So when you are aware of those linkages, a lot more variation on linkages are possible. We thought about everything is a variant, so linkage also is a variant. Every piece of poem is nothing but an assembly of linkages. As you said, the lotus flower, what is the linkage between a lotus flower and the cheek of a girl? When a boy sees a beautiful girl on the other side, immediately it triggers certain linkages which can drive that boy to do anything under the sun to get her by the operation of various linkages within his mental process. See, that's why so linkages everywhere. Like wherever there is variant, there is linkages. Naveen, because no variant can exist without linkages, which I believe a minimum 3 linkages.
So can I ask a question?
Yes, please.
No variant can exist without a linkages, minimum 3.
Yeah.
That means it will have 3 linkages to the invariant, or it will have 3 branches.
Yeah, that's a beautiful question. No. With the invariant, just one linkage. Okay. Then other 2 linkages with the other variables in its operating environment.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
And I declare, even if, of course, there is no so-called God the way any human being conceived, let us say, as a hypothesis, if there is a so-called God, even that God cannot exist without the 3 minimum linkages. Because, for example, what will recognize the presence of God? So there is variant 1. And that variant can exist only in linkage with some other variant. Linkage 2. And all this can exist only in some other terrain, some other plane, plane, some space. So that linkage. Oh, these are all mystical philosophizing, which is of no advantage to us. So look at the advantages linkages. Somebody is coming before you. Someone is talking before you. Someone's expressions, responses, behaviors, actions, they are all linkaged, definitely with a mind setting, and they are all doing that in order to linkage with you or with the environment. Or they get linkaged. What is so called as, for example, a spy work or a criminal investigation or a research? What is a research? Searching for linkages. For example, my first PhD thesis was about finding out personality characteristics of creative underachievers. Linkages of certain personality characteristics of creative people who are also underachievers. So I had to measure the linkages of underachievement, I had to measure the linkages of their creativity, and I had to assess the linkages of their personality attributes, for example. Or what is a case investigation? Those who are good at linkage analysis, they will discover, they will unfold the truth of a case. Not that they underwent a training in linkage analysis, they happen to develop by coincidental linkages of their development experience. All the great performers among the educated community, they are all wonderful, not bloody because of their university degree, whether it is from any university in the whole world. Evidenced by the fact that no Harvard, no Stanford, no MIT, no London Business School, no IIM journalists, even 10 candidates of equal caliber by their educational process or method. Those who already had the caliber, and when they happen to get admission to IIMs or IITs or Harvards, they perform very well. And how they got it is by sheer coincidental linkages during their early development and subsequent experiences and interactions with other linkages in their environment. And every one of you must be a researcher, I told you all the time in the very beginning. Research or search is an invariant factor of existence again. Existence of every other entity is possible only by that search property. The search property of the very leaf for photosynthesis. The search property of the amoeba, of the earthworm, of the bird, of any other cats. And human beings do not have to search. Of course, primitive human beings have to search for their food. Now systems have been developed. If you have money, you just go to a shop and buy all these things. What search you have done? I am not talking about academic research. What search within you? Today when you were coming, before you were coming, Vinay and I had a very short discussion. Vinay is now in a great linkage of search. I don't want to openly say what it is because it is absolutely of a different domain. And your knowing what he is searching is of no use for you. And And anyone who meets him will immediately feel that he is an extraordinary person. This I happen to know, and it has to be so with, I suppose, every one of you. Everyone should get that linkage from you. Like if you are heat, other person must feel the temperature. If you are a fire, they should feel the heat. If you are graceful, they should feel it. Of course, that may depend partly upon their sensitivity also, but still, you have to be sure about it. Rather, your gracefulness should rebound from within. Nobody else in the world needs to know that. But you have to, that is that state of the art, supreme most confidence in self, of the genius in self. You yourself get the linkages of your own greatness, get the point. Like another person feels your greatness, you should yourself be convinced about your so-called greatness or the wonder and magnificence of the you. A secret kind of a unique kind of an orgasm, a unique kind of a bliss. That's what they call Anandamayam and all that. Because you have to be the number one observer of you. Who else? Who else is normally eligible to observe a genius? Only a genius can observe a genius. Only a musician can understand music. That's why my research is actually on top of the world, creativity research, because I am a creative person. Almost everybody else in the world who did research on creativity, it is part of their academic position. Evidenced by their work. The only one exception a little bit is Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi, Vinay. Though he did the research in connection with some project. Of course, he was an eccentric. A normally educated professor of research in the University of California just cannot do research in creativity. How can a non-creative person do research in creativity? And they can do it because there are methodologies, there are already questionnaires. They will just administer some questionnaire to some people and do some statistical applications on that and come out with some stupid conclusions. How can somebody who does not know anything about dance sit to judge dance performance? Same way. So, a crystal clear, at the same time a gentle, humble feeling of sensing of your own greatness. Because you are the most eligible to sense your wonder. Though the entire world is glamorizing the wonders of somebody else, they are able to see the wonders of Jesus or Krishna or Buddha or Vagbada or Patanjali or Shiva or Ramanujam or Albert Einstein or etc., etc., etc. by the very campaigns of the world. They did not recognize it by themselves. Researchers found out or their work revealed. Thousands of people who have been working with Albert Einstein never realized that he was such a so-called. I don't think he is a great genius, no doubt about that. The world is glamorizing Albert Einstein by the political economic interests of the powerful. What is his contribution to the humanity? Absolutely zero. Edison is greater. Even Newton is. Tesla is further greater, not Albert Einstein. That's the politics of the greedy criminal leaders of the world. Okay, linkages. So don't be a victim of the campaigns about linkages. When the so-called even Western tradition talks about man is made in the form of the God, what are the linkages of that God available in the form of the man? Nobody is interested in searching that. See? When the Indian tradition is the writing and talking thousands and thousands of languages in printed forms and delivery of oral tradition, nobody is searching for what is Aham Brahmasmi. They are all telling your Aham, your inside, your Swa is the very Brahman, the Brahman meaning the very universe. They are all by-hearting it and they are going on talking about it. That 73-year-old lady was telling, I am putting into this creativity therapy also. I told her today, you are lucky that you are trapped inside the cabin of your illness. It is a fine opportunity to search for that so-called God in you. And she said, yes. And what do you do? She says, every day I repeat Hanuman Chalisa. I said, should have said bullshit, but I didn't say that. They are all continuously reading Bhagavad Gita and Ramayana and all those things. Nothing will happen, nothing will happen. Rather than adjusting time, that's all. Time adjustment, that's all. And a false illusion that they are doing something great, that's all. If they are reading 24 hours, good. 24 hours the attention is there, good. Or all the wakeful times, okay, good. Nothing will happen. Because chanting Lalita Sahasranamam or chanting Hanuman Chalisa or chanting any of the invocations or prayers will not get you engaged physically. They are all like a textbook you talk about A plus B the whole square is equal to. That's all. That's not a real linkage. Get the point? You enjoy a film song, yes, by the property of the body. Nobody got it by their effort. If you put in some effort, you can enjoy Hindustani music or classical, Carnatic or other Western music. Sensitivity to pitch variation and melody variation is the property of the body. Because the body is continuously varying. As I told the other day, what is Kakaru Sajini? Ayana Balam variation. While engaging. Do you think that was the first tune happened? When the music director got the lyrics of Kakaru Sajini Ayana Balam, do you think what Yeshua sings so beautifully? Kakaru Sajini Ayana Balam. Do you think the music director got the linkages instantly? No. That definitely was not the first tune. It is by varying linkages with further pitch variation, speed variation, melody variation. The same lyric could be sing Kakaru Sajini Ayana Balam. Why not? So the speed and pitch variation of Kakaru Sajani Ayana Balam does not get properly linked with the essence of the invariant nature of that lyric. Because it is about a kind of a wonderful sadness of the man's mind about missing a girl. So the tune cannot be like ek, do, teen, char, panch, saat. It is not possible. The sensitivity of the linkages with the sensitivity to music of a musical mind just cannot allow that kind of a pitch and speed variation for that lyric. So everything is linkaging. You take any damn thing in this universe. Everything is structured and designed and set by linkages and linkages and linkages alone. Taking appropriate variance. Brick by brick linkaging with a mortar. The structure of a building is evolved. Linkaging one cell with the next cell, the organism is designed and structured and set. When the embryo is almost 260, 70, 80 so-called days old, its own property is triggering the linkages of certain hormones, which in turn gets linkaged with the various muscular processes of the womb, by which the fully developed embryo is pushed out of the body. And as soon as it enters the planet Earth, the first linkage is happening by that unique variation, the sudden variation from the temperature, whatever setting of the womb, to a different temperature, structure, design, elemental setting of the surroundings. There is a shock, there is a sudden variation for the body, which is expressed by the sudden variation of the lungs, which results in the intake of the air, by which the so-called oxygen gets linkaged with the bloodstream, whatever, all linkaging. Every subject matter is a linkage, whether it is physics or chemistry or maths or algebra or calculus, medicine or management or law or whatever. Every word is a linkage of infinite form, alphabets or letters. Every word is uttered by linkaging of sounds. A child takes almost 3 months to linkage two sounds to call ma, and ma. Is opening of the mouth and ma is closing of the mouth. So easy. But even then it gets about approximately 3 months to get the linkages of that sounding. Which gets reinforced in the mind, which gets linkaged in the so-called mental impression process of the child, because by generating that sound, that most critical figure is approaching the child. The child can linkage with the mother body by uttering that sound, see? So, everything around is an example of linkaging only, Parvati. See that. See the world as a variant-invariant linkage orbit network, which is possible, which I do. Not that you will see the linkages. That is the mindset. Variant-invariant orbit linkage intentionality network is a mindset. It's a perspective through which you see objects and events and processes and systems and procedures and whatsoever things and entities and phenomena in the world outside as well as the world inside. You see, I am declaring to the whole world, whole unlucky world. I would say the world is unlucky that they do not know what I am speaking to you. Yes, I am 100% absolutely clear that the entire universe is nothing but a variant-invariant orbit linkage network phenomenon. Everything in the universe can be explained by that. Everything in the universe outside, everything in the universe of a single drop of water, and everything in every cell membrane of the body. So the health of the body, integrity of the body process, integrity of the mental process, intellect of the process of thinking, analysis, reflection. We say the word integrity when there is a uniform evolution of all these forces, like uniform tension on the varied strings of a guitar. Our body is metaphorically is a guitar. It is a guitar of countless millions of strings. Not able to see those linkages, the great majority of people, so-called normal distribution principle. Every one of you must refer to the theory of normal distribution principle. Human world is absolute victim of normal distribution principle. 50% below average and 50% above average. And in that above average, only about roughly 0.3%. I have copied and pasted the normal distribution curve in my Facebook post. What is the percentage of, what you call it? Yeah. The percentage of it is a highly linkaged body, mind, intelligence, intellect structure is just 0.1%. 0.1. That means 1 in a million. That's the truth. But most of the normal distribution talk about percentage. So 1 out of 99. But having interacted with so many students and managers and all that, definitely it is not 1 in 100. It is not even 1 in 1000. I don't think it is 1 in even 10,000. If I have interacted with the 10,000 students over the last 25 years, I have not come across more than 2 wonderful singers, more than maybe about 4 or 5 poets, about 4 or 5 or 6 painters, or really wonderful beings, very rare from a creativity researcher's perspective. But there were a great lot of people who got the appreciation of other people and other teachers and achieved great so-called glories in academics and other world positions.
So can I ask a question?
Yes, Tindu.
So, sir, talking about the standard deviation process, is it a tool which we use to understand and define reality of life, or is it actually a definition of what is happening in the nature, statistically explained?
In fact, your question is not differentiating between reality of life and actual. You see? It is reality of life, it's a fact of life. I thought you would be asking, is it a reality or a non-reality, okay?
Okay.
It is reality,
so
it's a fact.
only help quantify it.
Yeah, statistics is a wonderful tool. all of you should learn basics of statistics. Because statistics is a wonderful method of observation. Don't look at it as a subject. Statistics is a wonderful methodology for observation and data analysis. It will help your conceptualization process. It's a wonderful tool. Not higher order linear regression and things like that. Even that. At least get to the mean, median, mode, standard deviation, average and correlation. And particularly the normal distribution table. Definitely, Tintin, it is a 100% fact of humanity.
So my follow-up question was, at certain instances you find there are 2 to 3 very skilled people, like if you're looking at the singers, for example, Lata Mangeshkar and Asha Bhosle, or we had R.K. Laxman and R.K. Narayanan from the same family. So that is also a statistical outlier, right?
That's a different question. That is...
that goes into the eugenics process,
no. That is just by training. The little baby happened to get exposed to the musical linkaging of their sounding. Theoretically, anybody who can talk can also sing. Because even normal people, when they talk, there is a pitch variation, there is a speed variation, there is a so-called melody variation. But their attention is not directed to that by somebody else in the environment or by coincidentally by their own attention. You were taught music by somebody?
Initially.
Initially. Why? Everybody in your locality were equally having that tendency. Somehow you manifested that tendency. Okay, somebody good in music trained you. Agreed. But actually everybody could sing also. If they can talk, they could sing also. Not necessarily at the level of Lata Mangeshkar or Mohammad Rafi or Pandit Jasraj or anything. But at least to their own, to a reasonable extent. Reasonable extent meaning statistically significant extent.
Got it, sir.
If there is a tune, that's why I said statistically significant meaning, above, real significance is above 80%, or let us say 70%. If there is a song of what you call Bad Boys or Pandit, sorry, Ilayaraja or Lakshmikant Parallel or whoever, R.D. Burman, whoever, if he has created a tune, you should be able to at least approximate your pitch sounding variations at least 70%. That's enough. Because you did not practice like Mohammad Rafi. Your career was engineering, Tintin. But despite that, you mastered guitar, you mastered singing. Okay, how could you? So you were inspired. You got linkaged. Your mind setting got linkaged. That's the point. That's why. So other people's mind setting never got linkaged to that. Even if it got linkaged for a few days, they had other linkages that blocked their mind from trying it further. So everything is by linkage. Every mental block is a linkage. A negative linkage, a blocking linkage. So-called fear and anxiety about unknown and the ambiguous and uncertain. Fear and ambiguity about failure. Fear and anxiety about failure. Fear and anxiety about lowness or humiliation. Centricity and conformity. Self-doubt. Rigidity and functional fixity. Or sensitivity lag. Or familiarity trap. Or speed trap. These are all linkages only. These are all, when we talk in our parabolic language, these are all girls somebody gathered in their journey whom they are not ready to get rid of. So when you are in relative experiencing of the invariant, that is when you experience the power of the you, for example, because that is the most powerful being. When you discover the you, what is happening? It is not what the other people call enlightenment and just that. That is religious enlightenment. That is enlightenment by faith. Bhakti yoga. I don't believe in that. I don't agree with that. Because you have to contribute to the world. So I think Jnana Yoga, now by knowledge, engaging with a greater understanding of the universe and benefiting the world out of your competency and your contribution, you are training somebody to reach your level. That is greater. That is possible only by Jnana Yoga. You have to direct somebody. Like most of the gurus, like Amardanandamai or somebody else, they are all Bhakti Yoga. They will go on saying that you chant the bhajanas, you go on meditating or incubating on Shiva or Parvati and all that. They are doing it for thousands of years, nothing would happen. You should be able to explain. You should be able to point out the linkages of the required activity. Then only they can take a next step. Like I told this lady, she has been chanting one of the so-called powerful mantram about Hanuman Chalisa. I think some 500 lines or so. I don't know, Parvati might know that. I know many women who have by-hearted what you call Lalita Sahasra Nama. That means 1000 synonyms of Tripura Sundari. And I know at least 4 or 5 of that women are absolutely ridiculous, neurotic characters who have no respect or response to their husbands or no responsibility to their homes. They are all in the private journey of meeting with somebody after death. There is no meeting with anybody after death. It's all a theoretical nonsense they are publicizing to glorify religion and glorify God and all that. A human being is no way special than a cat on the road. And they are talking about the soul and getting into the bloody heaven and whatever. Absolute bullshit. What is so special about a human organic structure? Which eats and sleeps and shit, which every other organism is doing. Because there is a large brain and neuronal consciousness, they can conceptualize, they can perceive a great lot of things and they think they are all truth. Human beings are wonderful when they are alive. With their consciousness, they can personally experience the wonders of existence. That's all, finished. And it is a choice, of course. Just a choice. Like Edmund Hillary said, there is Mount Everest, why not I climb? That's all. And do that wonderful engaging to reach the Everest of your existence rather than whiling away time by being victims of some campaigns. Like victims of some whims and fancies. There is a news, a 6-year-old girl was kidnapped by a team of father, mother and daughter. First time maybe in the history of the world. A father can conspire with his group of friends to kidnap a girl. A mother can do that. A father and mother can get another quotation group. This a single unit, father, mother and daughter. As on today's latest police investigation, nobody else is involved. They kidnapped a 6-year-old girl from an ordinary family, demanding a ransom of 10 lakh. because they wanted to maintain their social reputation. And this father is a B.Tech rank holder or something like that. And he tried various businesses. Apparently most of them could not succeed. Despite that, he has a huge, at least 1.5 crore worth of a huge beautiful building and 3.5 acres of land in Kerala state near a town and another farm in Tamil Nadu. And they were running short of money because of their extravagant lifestyle. And they say that they have 5 crores of debt and they demanded 10 lakhs to manage the 5 crore. What a nonsense, nobody knows. Anyway, that's all stories. And they have a girl, a very beautiful girl who talks English like any Westerner talks. She is highly brilliant and educated and all those things. And she has spoiled herself and she looks absolutely neurotic and not interacting with anybody. She has a YouTube channel with 5 lakh subscribers. And she is living with 9 dogs. Most of her YouTube items are her petting the dogs and embracing the dogs and kissing the dogs and things like that, which also have an audience reaching up to 5 lakh, Naveen. So somebody was telling that behaving with stupid dogs, her intelligence is at the level of a dog. Because apparently she only has planned the kidnapping. Because she used to get about 3 to 4 to 5 lakh every month from YouTube till some 2 months back, and then the YouTube discovered that most of the items, other items were copied from other sources. So YouTube stopped giving her the whatever. So she had no income. And in a good percentage of her non-copied YouTube item, they are all about her company with the dogs only. And she has a website, and the name is Me and My Family. And you know who is the family? 9 ferocious, as well as, I think normal dogs, I suppose. I saw some of the photographs. A 20-year-old beautiful girl living with the dogs, no interaction with anybody, no boyfriends, nothing. It has become a kind of a neurotic obsession with modern girls. Because they can comfortably relate with the dogs, not with other human beings. Our very Meenaksh's daughter spent more than 1.75 lakh treating a dog. And I interviewed some veterinary doctors also. In between, that veterinary doctor told me a lot of the general public think that we are not as rich as the other doctors. He said we are more rich than the other doctors, because these high society ladies, they would give anything for us. They just take care of their dogs and cats and their pets.